girls, unsure how they'd integrate with her existing family. She also worried she wouldn't be a good mother. Nellie prayed that she could love Simone and her sister as much as she loved her own sons. It turned out there was no need for concern. I don't know the exact date it happened, Nellie says, but my heart just made room for Simone and her siblings. Simone felt loved. She began calling her grandparents Mom and Dad. Finally, she was well fed and cared for. I was happy, she says. I knew because the knots I usually felt in my tummy were gone. There even was a trampoline in the backyard of her new home. Simone bounced, twirled, flipped, and somersaulted for hours, her beaded braids flying. She tried different moves, some quite daring, to see if she could land on her feet. She usually succeeded. Simone's situation was unusual, but she embraced it. I thought every kid was adopted. To me, it's just normal, she says. I want to know why my mother did what she did. But those aren't questions for me because that was her lifestyle before I was even born. One day when Simone was 5, her daycare center decided to take the kids on a field trip to a farm. It rained that day, however, so they changed their plans and headed for a gym called Bannon's Gymnastics in nearby Houston. From the moment she entered the gym, Simone was enthralled. She was tiny for her age, but the equipment seemed perfect for her size. There were low beams and a low bar along with floor vaults and mats. Simone saw someone jump backward, use her hands, and then land while standing upright, something gymnasts called a back handspring. So she tried her own backflip. Simone pulled it off over and over again, landing on her feet each time and even adding a little twist at the end. A woman who worked at the gym raced over, amazed at what she was seeing from such a young girl. She gave Simone a few simple instructions, telling her to point her toes and keep her knees together, and invited Simone to come back to the gym for some formal classes. Before long, gymnastics consumed Simone's life. Practice, gymnastics classes, more practice, and even more classes. She couldn't get enough. Fearless, surprisingly strong, and full of energy, Simone had discovered the perfect sport for her personality and body type. Even at such a young age, a local coach, Amy Borman, believed that with hard work, Simone had a chance to develop into a special talent. Her physical stature and her energy are what caught my eye, Coach Borman says. The biggest obstacle with coaching her was her desire, or lack of desire, for repetition. Most high-level gymnasts are comfortable with doing very high numbers of repetition, but not so much in Simone's case. Luckily, she didn't require them. As Simone worked to perfect her routines, she noticed her body changing and her muscles expanding. Some kids teased Simone about her bulky, well-built physique. Even in the world of gymnastics, small and powerful wasn't seen as an ideal body type at the time. As she got bigger and stronger, Simone turned self-conscious. I definitely wasn't one of the cool kids, she writes in Courage to Soar. Sometimes when she was around young people her age, Simone wore baggy clothing, such as an athletic jacket on top of her outfit, to mask her muscular physique. I always hid it, Simone later told New York Magazine. Spending more time in the gym with others focused on the sport helped Simone build confidence. It took a while, but the more she practiced and succeeded at gymnastics, the more she learned to ignore how others viewed her. Once I started going to the gym more, I realized that it wasn't weird. I have these muscles because I do the sport that I do, she says. The critiquing of her body and her abilities never quite stopped, though. In 2013, Simone turned 16 and began competing in the senior elite category of amateur gymnastics. She dealt with early challenges, including difficulties with the horizontal bars. Legendary coach Marta Caroli once watched Simone practice and told coach Amy Borman that, "This kid has no bars. She can tumble great, but that's it." Coach Borman encouraged Simone to ignore the criticism and keep working to improve her technique. Her family and I always told her that she could stop doing gymnastics whenever she wanted, Coach Borman says, but if she was going to put her energy in it, she should try to be the best that she could be. Simone took the lessons to heart. Soon she began dominating competitions and gaining broad acclaim, especially after winning gold at meets in Italy and Germany. Sometimes she didn't even need to be at her best during practice to win subsequent competitions. In July 2013,